outside our planetary system, and that some of them are in fact inhabited by intelligent beings of some kind, and some look as if they're remotely controlled. After all, who really do we think we are? We're a fifth-rate, miserable, measly little system out on the edge of the Milky Way, fooling around the universe with 4,000 or 5,000 years of so-called civilization behind us. We think we are the cat's whiskers, and we are not. We're a potty, second-rate lot, fifth-rate lot, conceited as apes, all of us. And here we go, and the moment anybody suggests that something should come in outside from outside, we think, oh, no, it can't be that, it's quite out, these things can't happen. And I think I do it myself, we're all thinking medievally.
What convinces you more than anything else?
The evidence of the men that have seen them, and primarily the behavior and descriptions of the objects themselves, which do not fit really any other explanation. And the Oldfield sighting, this thing which will become very famous, where a couple who live in a cottage outside Manchester took their first airline journey, and they had aboard a little film, a little cine camera, and they take pictures down of the fields as a couple would the first time they've ever been in an aeroplane, and she takes what she thinks is an aeroplane coming up from behind them, and then it goes out of vision in about 12 seconds or thereabouts, and she goes on taking a few more bits of the distant clouds and puts it back. And when they get, what's this thing? I mean, it's inexplicable by any, unless it's a straight fake. And to fake an 8mm film in color wants a lot of equipment. And who on earth are this charming couple? What would they be doing, lending themselves to faking these things? It is nothing airborne we've ever seen. I mean, it is basically sausage shaped with 2 dorsal and 2 ventral fins. And as you look at this film, it turns away on its vertical axis from you and disappears out that way. Well, I mean, you can argue until you're blue in the face. What is it except something that is airborne by a force, probably electrogravitic force of some kind that we know nothing whatever about? It is nothing conventional, it is nothing unconventional aerodynamically. There's no single piece of earth-borne equipment of any kind that can look and behave like that.
The Oldfields, indeed, had not faked anything, but the UFO in their film soon proved explainable. A few days later, an enterprising BBC cameraman took a similar camera, sat in the same seat, and filmed the same English countryside. The same UFO hovered into view, went through the same maneuvers, and disappeared into itself the same way. The UFO turned out to be the reflection of the tail section of the plane itself. The refraction of light in the Earth's atmosphere is capable of fooling both the human eye and the camera lens. And that thin, life-giving envelope of atmosphere sets apart the spaceship Earth from its sister planets as it spins about the sun at 66,000 miles per hour. One of the problems connected with man's flight through this environment derives from the law of physics governing objects moving at high speeds through the ocean of air. Aircraft moving at high speeds pierce the air compressed before the plane's wing. A shock wave results. It's become known as a sonic boom. And even today's comparatively slow-flying military jets alarm some citizens and run up bills for the Defense Department each year from the effect of these shock waves on populated areas. Question: why have no UFOs ever created an identical phenomenon when they're reported moving at speeds far in excess of jet planes, as this film made by Mrs. Madeline Rotifer in 1965 purports to show? Further, if the laws of nature prevent jet aircraft from abruptly changing direction without breaking up aircraft and passengers, why would a UFO be exempt from the same effect at greater speeds? The answer of most scientists is that we are not dealing with material objects from outer space at all, but with lights, reflections, and natural phenomena. Former director of the Harvard Observatory, now a member of the Smithsonian, Professor Donald H. Menzel.
Many people looking up into the sky can see a bright object on the horizon. They think that this object is a UFO, when actually as we scientists know, it can be an effect of the Earth's atmosphere, that through a layer of hot air that is entrapped above a layer of cold air near the ground, we get an effect which we call a mirage. Now, to demonstrate this, I have a sort of Earth's atmosphere in this jar. This is a layer of benzene, which is a very high index of refraction, and it acts like a layer of cold air. And I am now putting on top of it, floating on it, a layer of acetone, which is a layer of liquid of lesser refractive index. It acts like a layer of hot air. On the screen we will see a bright light that's being projected from the ground level here and passing through the acetone on the benzene. And now we will turn out the lights. So you see on the screen that the bright spot of light that was originally traversing this artificial atmosphere and appeared at the top of the screen gradually dims. And a line of colored light streams out down below this spot. And finally, the spot near the top of the screen disappears, and we see instead a beautifully colored and rapidly moving spot. The colors are due to refraction. The red color sometimes is attributed to the presence of a rapidly moving jet. The blue color is sometimes interpreted as motion toward the observer. It's all an effect of a mirage. And yet this has been reported again and again by experienced pilots who have thought that they were being attacked by a UFO from outer space. This is a type of sundog. Ice crystals in an otherwise transparent atmosphere reflect light from the sun, and it produces a saucer-shaped body that can maneuver, rush in toward the plane, or sometimes move rapidly away as the density of ice crystals thins out. There are brilliant meteors, the shooting stars that flash through the sky. There are many cases on record where a pilot and a co-pilot have seen the identical flare in front of their plane, and one of them has pulled up the plane abruptly in an attempt to maneuver to miss it, when actually the other pilot claimed that it was an object 70 or 100 miles away, which actually it was.
In addition to mirages in the atmosphere, many physical objects in the air have been taken for saucers, like this translucent balloon that can carry instruments up to 100,000 feet. Birds, kites, pieces of paper, and the planets have often been claimed as UFOs. But a little bit of logic goes a long way for those who wish to be persuaded, as we shall see in a moment.
This man used to spend hours writing medical findings in longhand, but the new IBM 224 dictating unit cured him of writer's cramp. This man used to trust countless details to memory, but the new IBM 224 never forgets anything. This woman used to take notes while checking her merchandise. But the new IBM 224 takes stock of things quickly and easily. At only 28 ounces, this new IBM dictating unit is so small and so compact that you can use it anywhere you think, at home, on trips and conferences, and of course behind your desk. Whatever you do, the new IBM 224 can help you do it better.
Here again is CBS Reports UFO, Friend, Foe, or Fantasy.
Saucer fans are often devoted readers of science fiction. Much of it is written by highly respected scientists. On an even more popular level, the comic book adventures of Flash Gordon confirm saucer buffs in the plausibility of their beliefs. But all is not peaceful on the planet Earth, because the saucer addicts are divided into cults, groups, and sects that range from the skeptical sighters who hope there is a logical answer to the true believers who feel sure the answer is being covered up by the military establishment. Perhaps the farthest out group